Are you constantly plagued by self-doubt, feeling like you're a fraud despite your achievements? I've been there before, and it sucks. But if you're tired of feeling the way that you do, and you're ready to break free from this limiting belief, this video is for you. Imposter syndrome is a pretty common phenomenon, and it affects people from all walks of life. It's characterized by a persistent self-doubt and a feeling of being inadequate, even if you're competent and if you've accomplished great things in that field. The feeling that you aren't good enough or that you don't deserve success can make you feel numb, but it also can stop you from taking necessary action. So let's start off by understanding what it is. Imposter syndrome can manifest itself in different ways, but the underlying feeling is the same. It's an overwhelming belief that you're a fraud, undeserving of your achievements. People feel imposter syndrome for different reasons, but there are a few that come up in different books and articles that I've read. Starting off with perfectionism. Perfectionism. People who are perfectionists set impossibly high standards for themselves, constantly striving for flawlessness in their work, their appearance, or their achievements. When these unattainable standards are not met, they interpret it as evidence of their incompetence, which triggers feelings of being a fraud. But it's not the case. This thought process leads to having an intense fear of making mistakes or falling short of our own expectations. It'll lead you to constantly doubt yourself in your abilities. And it's also going to make you worry about being exposed to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. You might have an inner voice that constantly criticizes and undermines your achievements. It could find faults and flaws even in situations where you've excelled. But it's all in your head. It can tie back to early life experiences. Because if you grew up in an environment where criticism was prevalent, or if there was an extremely high expectation, that can foster self-doubt and make you feel inadequate. Constant criticism and unattainable standards create a belief that you're never good enough. Being compared to other siblings, to your peers, to family members can fuel a sense of just not measuring up. After all, if Johnny can play the piano, why can't you? Labeling or stereotyping is another thing. Were you ever labeled as the smart one or the talented one when you were growing up? These labels we're given early in life can create pressure to live up to those unrealistic expectations. And if we feel as though we aren't meeting the standards that were set for us when we were younger, that's going to make us feel like we aren't living up to our truest potential. There's also something to do with attribution bias. And this is where we attribute our success to external factors, rather than to our own hard work and skills. We might discount our personal achievements by attributing them to luck or chance, failing to recognize our own competence and our hard work. By externalizing success, we fail to internalize our achievements, reinforcing the belief that we're undeserving of our accomplishments. Comparison and social pressure is another big issue, because when we compare ourselves to other people who seem like they've achieved more, it can create a sense of falling short or just not measuring up to your competition. There's an unattainable bar that we're striving for that we feel like we can't hit. Comparison highlights the gaps between our perceived abilities and the achievements of others. It can make us feel like we don't match up to our peers or societal expectations. But by caring about how people might perceive us, we doubt our own abilities and worry about being exposed as an imposter. It leads us to wanting and needing to feel validated by other people, rather than just feeling grateful for our value in our accomplishments. So how do you overcome imposter syndrome? Like, now that you have an understanding of what it is and how it can manifest in our lives, the big question is, how do you overcome it? And the big thing is, start by recognizing and acknowledging your achievements. You might need to start by recognizing what you've achieved before. Right? What have you been able to accomplish up until this point right now? And how much effort went into achieving it? Have you graduated school when your family doesn't have a history of attending? Have you reached a career or income goal? Or have you recently received a promotion at work? Keep a record of all of your achievements, big or small, and review them when self-doubt arises. Remind yourself that you have earned success, and you've done that through your skills and dedication. It comes down to you needing to believe in yourself and your abilities. You have gotten yourself to this point through the life actions that you've taken. Reflect on what you've accomplished as a way to keep yourself going when times are challenging. What have you done up to this point? Write it down and challenge your negative self-talk. Oh, the little voice in our head strikes again. If someone were to talk to us the way that we talk to ourselves, we would probably cut that person out of our lives immediately. Imposter syndrome often feeds on negative self-talk and self-criticism. So pay attention to your inner dialogue and then challenge the negative thoughts that undermine your confidence. How are you talking to yourself? What is that little voice in your head saying? Listen to it. Replace self-defeating statements with positive and affirming ones. Practice positive self-talk and remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes. Everyone experiences setbacks. It's not just you. Reframe any failure that you have as a learning opportunity. I've had businesses fail, ideas not work out, and videos that I spent hours creating get zero traction. Sure, it's deflating when it happens, but you only fail when you don't learn from your past mistakes and your past actions. So instead of viewing failure as a confirmation of you being incompetent, reframe it as a chance to learn and grow. And this is interesting because it means that you need to develop a growth mindset in order to push forward. Even highly successful people have faced failures along their journey. You need to learn how to use failure as a springboard for personal and professional development. Learn from mistakes that you've made. What did you do this time that you could do differently next time? What didn't work about this video, this project, this business? Patch the issue and try again. But then you also need to take time to celebrate progress, not perfection. Done is better than perfect. Perfection is an unattainable standard, and growth and improvement are more important than the flawless outcome. I'd rather push out an idea today that's 80% perfect and then improve versus waiting 6 months to release an idea that's 100% perfect. They never are. Embrace constructive feedback. Getting feedback can be challenging for people if you've got imposter syndrome, but you need to understand that there's a difference between constructive criticism and personal attacks. And that one took me a little bit to learn, but feedback is an opportunity for you to learn, refine your skills, and get better to do and be better. Getting opinions from other people can change the way that you look at something that you're working on. Feedback from the right people can challenge the way that you think and force you to challenge your own beliefs and push you to do better. But you need to also focus on your strengths. You can't judge a fish based on its ability to climb a tree. Every person has their own unique skills and strengths. You need to figure out what your strengths are, and then you need to leverage them to build your confidence. What can you do better than 90% of the population? When you have self-doubt, remind yourself of your strengths and the value you bring to the table. You have a unique perspective of the world and a unique skill set and abilities that can contribute to your success. But at the end of the day, imposter syndrome can be a significant barrier to personal and professional growth. But with the right strategies and mindset, it can also be overcome. You're not alone in experiencing these feelings. It happens so much more often than you probably realize. Focus on embracing your unique qualities and your strengths, and believe in your ability to succeed. Just take a deep breath. Trust in yourself and step forward with confidence. You are capable of achieving great things. You can overcome imposter syndrome and take that first step towards a brighter future. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to know 10 habits of highly successful people, you should definitely check this video out.